Yeah, no, I think, that's really interesting. And I think, there's a bunch of different questions for me, that, come to mind. Should hotels be thinking about, buying these more generic search terms when they know a big event's coming? Or is it something that they should not do because, the demand is going to be there? Really curious, how you think hotels should set up, budgeting, or how hotels really need to be looking about what setting up their strategies or their goals.
Yeah, and that's definitely very important, and a lot of it depends upon exactly that question. What are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? And so, almost forgot to mention that was busted, that myth. Sorry. And so, when we talk about goals, right, it's all about your perspective. So,
Yeah.
in this example here, if we're at a $3 cost per click and a 10% conversion rate, that means it's taking 10 clicks to get a booking or a $30 cost of sale. Now, this was actually an example that came from a mega casino resort in Las Vegas a few years ago. Their nightly rates were at about $30. So if you do that math, you suddenly realize that's a 100% cost of sale. There's no way that's going to work, right? For them, it was okay, though, because their objective was to get that consumer to book with them directly, get them into their players club, get them in there with the ancillary revenues, whether that be the shows, the gambling, the food, everything else that was a bigger part of their operation than what the rooms were. So for them, that was okay, because if that same booking went through an OTA, even though it may have had a lower cost of sale, they didn't get all of that other stuff with it. So that was so very important to them. You'll have other instances too. If you're $500 per night, and say you've got a 2-night length of stay, now suddenly that same example is just a 3% cost of sale, right? So everything is very relevant and very subject to what the user is doing. Now, when we start thinking about what kind of goals we want to set, and especially when we start thinking about the timeframes, is there an event in town? Is it busy? It can kind of borderline on philosophical a little bit. But again, it's about understanding the objectives between things like branding. Do I want to make sure that they're seeing my brand out there, whether I'm one of the big brands or even, let's say, an independent hotel that wants to make a name for themselves in the market? Am I focused on volume? Maybe it's all about getting that volume of bookings. And in doing so, I might be more interested in getting that traffic than I am the return on the ad spend. Owning the guest, which we just talked about, and how important that is with COVID these days. And of course, your cost of sale and your return on ad spend, also very important factors to keep in mind. But not to forget about the diversification of the portfolio, because we want to make sure that, just like with the 401k, if you're investing in stocks, we want to make sure that we've got this spread out a little bit, because you've got all your eggs in one basket. You start looking at your line graphs, they suddenly start going up and down very sharp. But if you've got that spread out a little bit, it's a lot smoother road, and you can diversify that more easily. But as I like to say, but wait, there's more. There's one other key objective too. By getting that traffic directly to my website, that now enables me to also look at a bigger picture of the marketing funnel, and that is what we call remarketing. So now that I've gotten you there, and I've got that cookie that's following you around the internet like a good stalker, now what I can do is put myself back in front of you again. It's like this example, I'm on space.com later on, and the Ramada banner ads on the left and right-hand side of the screen. And that has a very significant return. That's why you see a lot of marketers using that.